Doing great. Nati, how are you?
Great. And I love the vibe that you have. You have been, so the pep talk, I usually have it with speakers, but either of us are nervous. But you actually, so it's my job to get people out of the nervous zone. And we usually talk for 15-20 minutes. But with you, I think I was really nervous because I'm, of course, interviewing you, but you were so kind and amazing that I did not feel that nervousness. So thank you for the energy that you get on the table, and thank you so much for doing this for me and Story. I think we need more people like you in cities and countries that are still developing, because people don't understand the value of having such a nice coach in their life. So we are going to get into the experiences that you have as a coach and what goes behind being Yinka, and probably inspire a couple of women who want to be like you. So are you ready?
I absolutely am. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm really excited to be here.
Perfect. So my first question straight on is, what makes you Yinka? Like, what makes you do things that you're doing right now with the pace that you're doing, with the style that you're doing? Because I have seen people changing. I have seen people just changing streams or their business style or the way they are because of either societal pressure or their own world changing around them. But what makes you stick to this profession?
Okay. Well, as I said, thank you so much for having me. As a coach and a consultant and a strategist for women in business, I do what I do to support women to build thriving and profitable businesses while living full, fab and nourishing lives. And I do that so that they never feel like they need to make the choice between their health and their wealth, or their money and their life. Now, the reason I do what I do is, as with many things in my space, starts with a story. And my first kind of story into business began when my mum was diagnosed with breast cancer. Now, she was running her own business, but the way that the business was structured was such that I was seeing her leaving her cancer treatment to go and service client needs. And for me, I was like, whoa, this is unbelievable. You need time to really focus on your health. And yet you're having to continue the business, meet client needs, deal with instead of really just being able to focus and really be able to come back to full health. So I stepped out of I was then in an investment banking career, and I stepped out of that career path in order to support my mum in her business. Thankfully, my mum, successfully fought and beat cancer. She celebrated 10 years free of cancer and went climbing up Mount Kilimanjaro. So, she's amazing. But the reason why I stayed in business was because I kept seeing the same pattern, that when the world needs support and help, women, sisters, wives, mothers, daughters, we are that social net and that social glue. And yet, when we need help. So when the world needs help, they can go to women. But when women need help, the help that they often need isn't always there in the same way. And a lot of the help that they were going out there to get in relation to building a business, I kept finding was designed by men for men. And so it didn't fit into the realities of the lives that women were leading, because life doesn't stop just because you're a woman that wants to run a business. So it frustrated me enough to want to actually do something about it. And so I began in my journey to support women to build those thriving and profitable businesses, and to focus on the things that make a business thrive and be profitable.
Wow, that's such a nice reason to start something. When I got into writing, it was just for money. And then, of course, I fell for marketing, and then I started doing that and now hosting shows, etc. But it happened because the underlying reason, and why I think people like me change a lot of career paths, because it is never based on a very solid foundation. We just do it for the sake. And then, of course, we find something that we truly love. And I love what I'm doing right now. But I think when your business is backed by a reason, you get all the more strength to continue and be at it and everything.
Absolutely. I love the quote that says, if you have a big enough why, you can deal with almost any how. And it is so true, because ultimately, you know, my mission now is to support women across the world to be incredible in their businesses and to generate wealth, because women spend differently. We solve problems differently. And actually, I'm a really big believer in social mobility, and financial independence is one of the most effective ways to create, you know, activism and social justice. And so from that perspective, I'm really passionate about more women generating, accumulating, investing, and becoming financially savvy. And I think that business is a really incredible tool in order to be able to do that.
Absolutely. And the kind of repression that women have seen, and the emotional quotient that women have is high, right? So we get emotional. I am pretty sure that my mom wants to do other 10 things, but she'll always see if I've had my food and I'm okay and I'm having enough water, and all those small things. And I think as a woman, I'll also do that for somebody. So yeah, we have a very different psyche to our business as well. We do it very carefully and caring and everything. So I think we need more of you to just back us up and tell us that we are not emotional fools, but what we are doing is what we are made for, being a little empathetic in the world.
Absolutely. And what I would say is that what we have been given are our strengths. You know, we are not part of the frustration that I had and often have is the information that is out there of how to run a business for the longest time was very masculine, very it leaned into what are the strengths of the men that are in business, and you know, they're often white, they're often male, they're, you know, they and actually there's a big wide world out there. There are many ways to be successful in business. The business fundamentals, you know, they know no gender, they know no color. And so I'm not suggesting that the fundamentals were inaccurate, but the expression of them absolutely didn't fit into the real life of, you know, me as a woman, me as a mother, me as a daughter, me as a wife. And so I'm just really passionate about enabling women to recognize, you know, their own power and their own opportunities, and to see the things that they've been given as a strength. If you have a specific skill, a specific way of being, then it is incumbent upon you to use it to your advantage. There is no point trying to be like anybody else. You've been given a unique set of skills, so go out there and be the most, well, as I like to say, the you-iest you, or the most authentic you can be, and that's the best way for you to go out there and serve the world with your gifts.
Got it. And so if somebody comes to your coaching, takes your coaching, enrolls for it, what's that they get?
I run a few different types of coaching courses. So where I support executive women leaders, I have developed a coaching style called self-reflection coaching, because I genuinely believe that one of the most powerful skills for life is that emotional management, your ability to have that mindset when things go bad, things don't go your way, how to deal with people, dealing with relationships, communication. All of that comes back down to emotional management. But emotional management is built on self-awareness. And I kept seeing that there wasn't any sort of support or resources out there that categorically and support the improvement and enhancement of self-awareness. I think it's John Maxwell who said that to grow yourself, you must first know yourself. And so I support executive and women leaders in what's called self-reflection coaching, where in addition to, individual coaching sessions, there's also a, prompts, self-reflection prompts that they use for journaling. And because I'm absolutely a believer in the expression that everything you need to get everything you want is either within you or within reach. I'm trying to turn women away from this idea that other people have the answer to their problems or their issues. You have the answers to your problems and issues. That's why they're yours. And so they're there. Those problems and challenges are for you to overcome, to grow, to get better, to get stronger and wiser. And so on the self-reflection coaching side, that's the support that you get in that space, the prompts, the sessions, the opportunity to really discover your own power and to really, you know, get to know and love your own magnificence. On the business side, I then have, you know, group coaching offerings, which really focus in on making sure that you're building your business, that your business is in line with your purpose and your values and your mission, your unique mission that you are here in the world to do. Now, the fact is that not everyone is building that business, that not everybody is doing the business they love, and that's absolutely fine. I believe that businesses should either be or fuel your dreams. So if you're not in a business that is your dream, then let that business fuel your dream. But some of that work is, first of all, to discover what that actually is. What is it that I'm here to do? What do I want? What does that look like? When I'm gone, what do I want the impact of my time on this planet to be? So I have a coaching, a course and a group coaching program that kind of takes women through that process and enables them to build out or to steer their business in the direction of their kind of biggest dreams and their wildest goals and that kind of area. And then I have kind of in the middle, a booster program, again, focused on coaching, which is really just about implementation. So many women have been sold this idea that the next guru with a really awesome program, you know, in numbers ending in 7, have, you know, the answer to their problems. So many people I've met, they buy these courses, they do another book, another coaching program, another course, and yet they never actually finish them, and they never actually implement in order to make the progress that they're seeking. And so I have a booster program which supports implementation, the setting of goals, the development of plans, and underpinning those plans with powerful systems. So I call that my GPS framework. And that booster program just focuses on get one thing done, one thing that is impactful to building a thriving and profitable business, set a goal, achieve the goal, set another goal, achieve another goal. But it's creating habits and leaning into consistency and implementation to support the development of a successful business, but while focusing on making that sustainable through discipline and habits rather than through massive action and 10x behavior, as is often sold in other parts of this space.
Absolutely. And that's amazing. You have something for everyone. Now, my next question is, how often do women come to you, but you see that more than professional problems, they have personal problems? And how do you tackle such clients?
Well, the thing I would say is that we are always whole human beings. So even if a woman comes to me and says, I really need to build my business, one of the first questions I'm going to ask her is about the personal stuff. It's about, are you sleeping? Are you eating? Are you drinking enough water? Are you resting? The very first task in my kind of flagship program is I ask the women to choose their favorite color and to go into their calendars and to block out time in their calendars every single week. It starts with 2 1-hour blocks for themselves. And that time is not for them to work on their business. That time is for them to do whatever they want. They can go to sleep, they can go outside, they can have a massage, they can go see friends, they can read a book, whatever it is. I'm a huge believer that taking care of you is taking care of business. And one of the challenges that I often see and why I do what I do in the way that I do is that we often ignore this holistic approach. We're very obsessed with finance as a metric for success. We don't think about the other forms of wealth. Health is wealth. Health is the highest form of wealth. Yeah. And the fact is that we see so many people sacrificing their health to gain wealth and then using all their wealth to try and restore their health. It doesn't make any sense. You don't have to burn your health bridges in order to create profit and impact in your business. And so I often, in any form of the coaching or consulting or strategy that I do, I'm very focused on getting results, but I'm also conscious that results happen in a holistic context. So I always ask and support women holistically, irrespective of what they present with.
Wow. I don't want to ask any questions. I just want to listen to you because it's such music to ears. It's everything that I have realized lately, that how much, and 3 months back, my doctor told me I'm gluten intolerant, though I've had gluten for 24 years of my life. And that's when she sat with me and she said, see, it's not something to worry about, but you need to understand that you're growing your business at the cost of your health. And now this is what it has come to. So I think that's when I realized I need to take my health seriously. And I see a lot of male, females doing the same, hustling in the name of ruining their lives in the name of hustling, trying to grow 100x instead of growing 1x, 2x, 10x, and just taking baby steps. So it's all super relatable, and I'm pretty sure women in your coaching are actually going to thrive a lot, because given the coach you are. Now, my next question is, how have you used or leveraged social media to grow your empire online? Like, what are your go-to platforms, and what's the content strategy that you have in place, or do you have somebody to implement it for you?
No, I do my own content, and I recommend that women do their own content as much as possible at the beginning. I believe that because nobody's going to be able to market my business as well at this stage. No one's going to be able to do it better than me at this stage. And it's really important because I am building an empire. I love the fact that you use that word. Thank you so much. It's really important to set the right foundations, because in the future, I'm going to have teams. I'm going to have people who are working and fulfilling and supporting my vision. And so it's really important that I set the right foundations. So yeah, social media has been incredibly helpful for the building of my business and my projects. But I'm incredibly intentional about how I use it. So I was very late to the social media party. That was very deliberate. I think I joined Facebook. I think I'm coming up to 2 years or 3 years ago. So I'm really late. Yeah, no, I'm not. Even to this day, social media is absolutely a powerful force for me to build my business. But I don't put, I don't share my family. That I've never put pictures of my children. I don't talk about my husband because that is not. Insofar as I'm building a business, and obviously people want to know about me, and I don't hide the fact that I'm a mother of 3 or that I'm married, but I don't put their names, I don't put their images, because that's not a choice they have made. If they want to do that, then that's fine. I'm still trying to convince my husband to connect with me on socials. He refuses. So, we keep our private life private, and I respect, I love seeing other people's kids, and, but that's not the choice that we've made for our kids. So that's the first thing. I'm very intentional about how I use social media. I definitely do keep very focused on what I want to do. And in terms of a content strategy, what I do is I reverse engineer the results I'm looking for. And I do that in every context. So if I'm doing something in business, I want to know what is my intended outcome. And then I decide, how do I go about getting that? So when I'm building, what I'm building on social media is a number of things. I want to build awareness. I want to build affinity. I want the right people. And I say that unashamedly. I'm not for everybody, and I'm not supposed to be. I don't want, obviously I service women. So the 10,000 dudes who are in my DMs asking me to help them with their business, I am collecting a group of male coaches who can help them. I am not your coach. That is not my mission at this stage in my career. So I'm very intentional to make sure that I really speak to those who would resonate with my message and will really focus in on what I have to offer. So my content strategy is to build that awareness, that affinity, to develop conversations and relationships, and then to explore how I can be of service. And if I can be of service, then I will sell you something, because sales is service. Selling my solutions, my ideas, my courses, my products is an opportunity for me to come alongside a woman, and for me to enable her to absolutely be part of her own rescue. I am nobody's savior. I'm a coach. I'm not a superhero. You know, no woman needs rescuing in her life or her business. She is the superhero of her own story. And so my intention is to come alongside, to support, to guide. Sometimes my only job is to hold up a mirror so that you can see how amazing you are. But the point there is it's not about me. It's not about you know, me looking clever or being you know, amazing or sparkling or shine. My job is to support you so that A, you shine, and B, you can see your own sparkle. And so my use of social media is really to enable people to get to hear my voice, and for the right people to hear it, to be attracted to it, and to know that, you know, they are welcome to step forward and understand that, you know, if they want to come into my house, I will, you know, there is an invitation for that. But when they do, that they're coming into my house and they will be subject to and work alongside my rules.
Got it. Makes sense. That's a very boss babe vibe from you.
That is so funny. Boss babe is one of the things that makes me like, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the idea of a boss babe, only because it therefore means that a boss is male, and we'll talk about the idea of a boss at all. But yeah, no, bosses, and so I'm like leadership has no gender, so yeah, I'm just a boss.
Makes sense. You're the boss. So we'll play by your rule. And boss, my next question is, a lot of people are achieving their goals at a very young age. So when I started, I was 17. When I started doing something or the other, started making a living, and then by the time I was 21, I could proudly do a lot of things that probably 10 years back a 27, 28-year-old woman might be doing. But then I would agree to it that your age gets you the experience. So the mistakes that I committed at 21 were horrible, right? Emotionally, personally, professionally. And now I realize I'm 25, and now when I see 21-year-old telling me that, you know, we are very successful in this and that, I think that some things you learn from experience. But do you have ever come across a woman who was not confident starting her business at the age that she was at, and how was the whole experience? How did you get her out of her own mental block?
I mean, what I would say, first of all, is you said that lots of people are achieving their goals at a young age. And I will say to you that that absolutely is not the case. There was a study done a few years back. They did a study of 150,000 people across it was a US-based study. But again, you'll hear the proxy and hear why. So they had set goals at the beginning of the year, and they found that only 8% of those goals were achieved by the end of the year. And so one of the things I wanted to say to you is I loved your story and how you teed it up, but I want you to also recognize, you said that a lot of people are achieving their goals at a young age. That's not the case. A lot of people are not achieving.
Social media that's showing that.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was going to say. A lot of people are not achieving their goals, full stop. So if anything that you are achieving, please take the time to recognize how incredible that is. Because a lot of people they're not, I can't say whether they, first of all, goal achievement rates are very, very low. It's less than 10%. Second of all, is that social media, you know, so many people are doing it for the gram. And everyone is showing their highlights, but you are looking at your own real life. And so you're like, everyone's achieving and I'm not. No, baby. Everybody is living their lives and putting the very best moments that they can on social media. And so what I do and what I would say, even in light of your own story, is this word success is absolutely problematic when we believe it to have a single definition. There are, if you were to define success, you know, there are official versions, the pursuit of a worthy goal, etc. Actually, I believe success to be a number of different things, but I believe success to be unique to every person. And so one of the first things that I always speak of is and one of the things that I really focus on is helping women to define success on their own terms. Success for you and success for me cannot possibly look the same. You know, yes, there are measures that we might use, but actually, you know, when I think about even in my own family, just 2 or 3 generations ago, you know, incredibly commercial and industrious, but actually they didn't go into education. And so the fact that I have had the opportunity to, you know, go to university, to get my degrees, and, you know, that's I'm my ancestors' wildest dreams. And so one of the things that I'm very conscious of when I'm working with women is to enable them to define success on their own terms. It's never ever the things that people think of that are actually the kind of real meaningful measures of success. Yes, we want more money. Yes, we want more impact. But what will that mean? Will that mean more time? Will that mean travel? Will that mean time freedom? Will that mean geographical freedom? Will that mean doing, you know, charity work, going out into the woods for a walk? You know, so the very first thing I would say is that that lack of confidence comes from this idea of this universal definition of success and your perception of whether you believe you can attain it. So when you begin to understand that, one, you are a success. So success is not an out there thing, it's an inside job. So when you recognize that you are a success and your role now is not to hustle for success, but it's to hustle to recognize you already are one, and therefore you are on a mission to make the world, the slice of the world that you live in, a little bit better than it was when you first arrived. That's your goal. All of a sudden, the pressure's off, the confidence is up, and you're out of your own way, because now it's no longer about you and your ego. It's now about your mission and your vision.
Got it. Makes a lot of sense. Notes taken down. Right. So my next question is, what is one advice that you want to give to other coaches, be it any coach? Like, what is the thing that has worked out for you professionally as a coach in terms of probably your social media, in terms of your business, in terms of the coaching programs sold, whatever? What are your business hacks as a coach that you have learned that you want to tell other coaches?
That is such a great question. And in all of the interviews I've had, I've never been asked about what I would advise to other coaches. What I would say is that you should lean into, we as coaches we're in an incredibly privileged position, and we have a lot of good that we can do in the world.
Yeah.
But I think that it's incredibly important that we lean into the understanding that in order to be the best coach we can be, we have to be most authentic to what is true to us.
Got it.
And so that means that everyone will never be your client, you know, and we get that, like psychologically we understand that, but you know, there are real bun fights over, you know, the same people, and you know, people can't steal your clients in that way, because the clients are either yours or not. You know, what is for you will never pass you by. And so it now becomes a situation of understanding that you have a unique space, your lane is your own, you know, lean into what makes you authentic and different, and be the best coach you can be, which is really an incredible role of service. So serve your clients, charge them properly, hold high standards, expect more from them than they can really expect for themselves, see them in their magnificence even before they do, and then watch, you know, and support and hold them accountable to implement and let the magic happen.
Wow, that's such an awesome advice. And this line, although we get it, that not everybody is our client, but this journey of cracking the maximum sales for the programs and this and that really do gets to us. And sometimes we end up taking clients that are not for our bucket. So at least for when coaches are starting out, this advice is the real gem. Probably you'll understand social media by consuming 4 or 5 courses and tens and thousands of resources, but you'll never figure it out properly until you know who your target audience is.
It all starts from there. Your mission, your vision, your target audience, and then speak to one person. You know, no one wants to be part of a crowd. Everyone wants to feel like they're being spoken to personally. So you know, it doesn't matter how many courses you listen to, consume, you know, watch, write, nothing happens until you put out your first piece of content, and then your next, and then your next, and be consistent. You know, consistency will always be intensity at first. And so, yeah, go make a decision to be the best that you can be, work out what that looks like, and then decide that you will not quit until it's done.
Wow, absolutely. Got it. All right. And before we move to the rapid fire section, one last question is, how did you stumble upon LinkedIn and how it has been treating you? Are you liking the platform? What's up with it?
So I was aware of LinkedIn for a while, and actually I signed up to LinkedIn under duress to get a bank account for a business bank account for my business. So the bank insisted that I get you know, a LinkedIn profile, and so I was like, I'm not really that social media chick. That's really frustrating. But I was like, okay, fine, I will do it. So I did do it. I signed up. And for a while, for not very long, a couple of weeks, I just watched what was happening on the platform. In the January, I then decided I was going to start doing weekly articles, so just one piece of content a week. And then in March, this was last year, by the way, in March, I then decided that I would start posting daily on my personal platform on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn has been amazing. It's been like the biggest source of income for my business. Like so much money has been created from the relationships that I've developed on LinkedIn. It's brought me so many opportunities. I have, you know, made friends, friends who are like family, all from LinkedIn. It's been incredible. And I'm really excited because I am now working a bit more closely with LinkedIn on their creator management platform. They asked me to join a few not so long ago. So I'm going to be doing some more things in that space. But absolutely, LinkedIn is an incredible resource if you use it intentionally and if you use it consistently. But it isn't just about putting your own ideas and, you know, thoughts out there. It's really also about engaging with others, having communications, developing relationships, and making, you know, working to really make a difference. So approaching it not only with what am I going to get out of it, approaching it also with an idea, with a sense of what can I give, what value can I offer. It has been really powerful for me.
Got it. I can totally relate to this. I think last March, I got a 30-day challenge from my mentor that I need to hop on LinkedIn and start creating content. And I thought I'll just do it for 30 days and get done with it. And since then, I've been hooked to the platform. It has practically given me all the business that I have today. So yeah, I can totally understand how amazing this platform is. And now we move to the rapid fire section. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. So what was the turning point in your journey?
In my business journey, again, entering into business was when my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, because that was a life and death situation. And you know, you shouldn't never need to choose between your money and your life. So that was a real turning point for me.
Got it. At the end of the day, what do you want to be known for?
I want to be known for being someone who pursued excellence, someone who was focused on impact, and someone who supported other people to be the best that they could be. Got it.
What's one non-negotiable quality that every woman entrepreneur should
have? Honesty. That honesty around self-awareness, around emotional management, and around what's really going on in terms of relationships. So honesty, I would say, is non-negotiable.
Got it. What's the recent book that you have read or the Netflix series that you have watched and you want everybody to do so?
Best recent book is The Judgment Detox by Gabrielle Bernstein. Netflix series is 𝗬𝗜𝗡𝗧, which is a Turkish language epic series. It is the best thing on Netflix that no one is talking about.
Oh my God, I did not know about that. I'm hopping onto that one.
Go and get involved. It has it has over 400 episodes, so it will take you like a year, but it is honestly the best thing I've seen on Netflix.
Oh, all right. And what's the worst advice that you've got as a coach?
Just one. There's so much rubbish advice out there all the time. Follow your passion. Like, follow your passion is the number one. Without qualification, is the number one piece of advice that's going to make you broke and miserable. You know, there's so much rubbish advice out there. Oh, you know, give with value. You know, only give value. Like, just this. Honestly, that's not a quick fire question because there's so much bad advice out there. So.
Got it. And what's the best advice that you've received?
The best advice I've received is to remember your own power.
Got it.
And it's a piece of advice I share far and wide also. All
right. And who is your support system? Whenever you're drained, trenched, done, what's one thing or one, probably a person or habit that gets you going?
My morning routine is a really powerful part of my support system, but my ride or die is my husband.
I'm so glad to get that answer. I wish you all the best with your marriage and your life.
Thank you.
And my second last question is, what's one quote that you swear by?
I'm a quotes girl, so there are a few, but the one I've been saying most often is everything you need to get everything you want is within you or within reach.
Got it. And if you had to sum up your last 6 months in a sentence, how would you do that?
Pretty amazing, doing things I never thought I would, only getting started.
Wow. By far one of the most rewarding interviews. I'm so thankful to do this. I think I also needed that kind of hand holding, and I feel so confident walking out of this interview. I hope this reaches a lot of women, at least in my country, and they see how women are holding hands all together and making their own empire and doing stuff that they thought is not doable. So yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah.